grace. Now, why do we even say this in the first place? You know, as that stereotypical Italian, really the only time I do say grace is on holidays, I guess. But for the most part, we're just saying buon appetito. And then we begin to stuff our faces with the beautiful codaletti, arancini, cannelloni, rotini. The list goes on. I can speak for all the Italians in the crowd. But anyways, what's the big deal with grace? Well, Jesus practiced his own ritual, better known as the breaking of the bread, which began at Last Supper. Now this ritual is still very common in today's society, and it unites us as a church community. Breaking that bread and sharing it with others, no matter their role in society, is what we're all about as a Catholic community. Don't believe me? Well, consider this. The good old golden rule that we're called to live by is do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Now, let's go back. No, Jesus practiced his own ritual. Now, let's go back to that piece of bread and let's consider it. That piece of bread that the regular person sees as not so much. Well, there are parts of the world that people would do anything for that piece of bread, which parts of it most of us throw away in our compost. Now, the thing I admire so much about Jesus was he was breaking social boundaries every time he ate. He would eat with lepers. He would eat with tax collectors. He would eat with women. Can you believe this guy? Because I can't believe him. But he was actually teaching us a really good lesson. He was teaching us that if we walked in the shoes of the people we harm physically or emotionally, or if we just walked in the shoes of the people that are living in extreme poverty, we would realize how much we really have. We would realize how special that piece of bread really is, how special community is, how special communion is. Now, I want to talk about a story which states why we should be grateful for what we have. And it goes like this. A man with a Ferrari. Man, nice car. Anyways, a man with a Ferrari will wish he had a helicopter. The man beside him will wish he had a Ferrari. The man with the old car will wish he could afford a new car. The man with the bike will wish he could afford a car. The man walking on the sidewalk wishes he had a bike. Then it ends with the man who is paralyzed, seeing that man walk. And he says to himself, he can go wherever he wants. As a society, we do take advantage of the luxuries we have in life. There's no denying that. No matter what role in society a person has, if they are rich, middle class, poor, homeless, it does not matter, because our graves will all be the same size. Now, I'm not the richest guy in the world. There's no denying that. But I have one thing that money cannot buy, and that's family. And I would not trade it for the world. Almost a year ago, my nonno had a stroke. Or for the manja cakes in here, my grandfather had a stroke. Now, this was a very hard time for me and my family, as you can imagine. But we had to be hopeful. We had to stay optimistic. So we always thought, by the grace of God, he will get better. Now, the doctors were telling us something different. They always said, as a side effect of that stroke, there's a good chance that he will have paralysis in his right arm. Now, I didn't want to believe this, so I didn't. And I will never forget the day that I went to shake my nonno's hand, and he shook back. That was one of the happiest days of my life because I knew that my nonno was getting better. I am thankful for family. I am thankful for friends. I am thankful for the food I am lucky enough to have in front of me while I eat. I am thankful for my nonno who probably prepared that meal. Now, this is why I say grace. But why do you? What do you have to be thankful for? How has God called you to grace? Thank you.